I recently watched this Australian horror movie, which I understand was directed by YouTubers, I think. And this movie exceeded my expectations in a massive, massive way. This is Talk to Me. I knew very little about this film going into it. I think I'd seen a trailer way back when it was first coming out, but then I saw nothing else of it. I didn't really hear people talk about it, but I know it got quite good reviews. I also haven't looked up the reviews of this movie. I did know going in that it would involve some kind of demon summoning, as these things usually do. However, this was such a unique take as it weaves in many parallel storylines, with the summoning almost being a metaphor for a drug trip. This will make more sense shortly. The film itself follows a group of friends who seem to get together every weekend to conjure spirits, and they do this using an embalmed hand that came from a medium supposedly, but also could have come from a Satanist. We never know. By the end of it, we're thinking Satanist. When you hold the hand and you say, "Talk to me," a spirit will appear in front of you. Once it appears, if you say the words, "I let you in," it will possess you for a brief period of time. Now, I say a brief period of time because the friends, let's hope they're trustworthy, have to set a timer. 90 seconds is a sweet spot. Anything after, you're screwed. You have to disconnect from the hand within 90 seconds and blow out the candle to essentially say goodbye. Otherwise, the spirit will try to stay inside of you, which you definitely don't want. It's also worth noting that the spirits obviously change every time. You never know who you're going to get. Maybe it's someone nice, someone kind, maybe it's someone evil. You never quite know. And there are also things called mimics, of course. Demons who can disguise themselves, or I should say spirits who could disguise themselves as someone you might know. Anyway, I'm going to try not to spoil this movie too much because I really want everyone to watch it. Now, at this point, we're following Mia. She's a girl who lost her mum a few years back after she took her own life, and she is struggling to cope with her grief and finds a lot of support and comfort through her friend Jade and Jade's family, consisting of their mum and her younger brother Riley. For some reason, Mia is exiling her dad. We don't really know why. We just see a lot throughout the film. He's always trying to call her and she always rejects his call. And she also seems to spend most evenings at Jade's house. Everyone in Jade's friends group seems to find Mia very strange. They don't want to hang out with her. But regardless, she tags along with Jade for a hangout after they see a video of a girl holding the hand and seemingly getting possessed. They want to find out if it's fake or if it's real, so they go along to play this weird, twisted game. And boy, do they find out. We all find out, and it's great. Mia volunteers herself to touch the hand. Of course, it kind of makes sense with how she is feeling. Personally, she's struggling with mental health, with grief. She wants to feel something. So she volunteers herself, and we get the first glimpse of what is actually going on. There is a spirit in front of her, and after she says, "I let you in," they begin to control her body. Her eyes go black, and the spirit is now in control of Mia, with Mia taking a back seat in her life, essentially. This becomes a regular occurrence with the friends, meeting up, touching the hand, with some montage sequences, feeling like you're watching a drug trip. It's quite impressive, actually. After one session, though, where it appears that Mia's mum takes a hold of Riley and starts talking to Mia, we can see Mia begin to spiral, and her obsession with the hand begins. Now, I won't elaborate on that scene because that scene was incredibly disturbing to watch unfold, and you need to watch this movie to understand what actually happens in this moment. So I'm not going to say anything about what happens with Riley and the mum. Not to mention, Mia has an obsession with finding out what really happened to her mother because she can't process the idea that her mum took her own life. The spirits begin to cross over more and more, appearing to Mia at random times throughout the day, and it's hard with Mia becoming an unreliable narrator. We no longer know what's real and what's not, or what is in Mia's mind, because she is spiraling and her mental health is declining. Talk to Me is essentially a story of learning to deal with grief and how you deal with it in your own way. The hand is almost like a coping mechanism for Mia, a high without actually taking drugs. It also explores the idea of letting go, learning when to move forward instead of continuing to hold on to the past. The hand, of course, is more of an on-the-nose metaphor for that. Also, there's a major commentary on social media usage and how everyone documents these experiences despite being incredibly traumatic. Ultimately, the movie is incredibly effective at visualizing mental health struggles and grief. It's not necessarily a film with a lot of jump scares, which I liked. The actions themselves were distressing enough to watch. Just the idea of friends coming together to essentially inflict pain on themselves with this hand was quite jarring. And then while it's happening, everyone's filming it. These friends are doing things that are quite embarrassing when they're being possessed, and yet everyone's got their cameras out. It's an incredibly smart movie and also very, very moving. There were a couple of times I did have to pause because the subject matter surrounding mental health was quite upsetting and distressing to watch, but I do think this is a very important movie, and also just wildly underrated, simply going based on the fact that I hadn't heard anyone speak about it. Don't let this fly under the radar. Definitely watch Talk to Me. Let me know if you've seen it and give me your review below, because I need to talk to more people who have seen this. It was excellent. I will see you in the next video.